दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
Express University Station, Netaji Bhavan.
Whoever said that Mondays are boring needs to know that the IPL is here and no Monday is going to be boring. It was a nail-biter game. We were at the edge of our seats shouting the oohs and the ahs and we didn't know where this was going. But well, Ashutosh Sharma has done it for Delhi with an incredible knock. Welcome back to Voltas FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Sayumi. I've got Simon and Michael with me. Incredible for a Monday evening. The IPL is up and about, and how, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, it's Monday, forget the day. What an innings we've just witnessed. Brilliant composure, great striking ability. I was just saying to Simon off air, he was striking the ball very much like I see a lot of the ex-Pakistani players. Wide stance, big kind of punts down the ground, loads of power. A brilliant kind of summary of the day's play. 211, chasing 209. The halfway stage, they're 60 off for 5, game over. Lucknow have got their first win, and all of a sudden, Ashutosh comes to the crease and 66 from 31, and that was pure. And the only thing I say is I think it exposed Lucknow's bowling. That's the one thing we've been saying. Lucknow's bowling looks a little bit desperate. It's thin, it's depleted, there's a lot of injuries. And down the back end there, you saw that they're going to really struggle with that bowling attack in this year's IPL.
You know, before we get to Ashutosh, like he's saying, there's, of course, Lucknow's bowling that has really let them down. But in the mid-match show, we said 209 and there's going to be an easy chase. It didn't become an easy chase at all.
No, I mean, they bowled beautifully up front. I thought the first 10 overs, they were in a great position to, to take the game away. But when you've got that inexperience, that sort of lack of craft, I suppose, at different times, some great hitting, some great batting. Let's not take that away from Delhi, but they just were exposed a little bit, as Michael said, at the back end of the innings, under pressure, what to do, where to go, how do we find a way to stem this flow of runs. And that was sort of the big key for them. They felt just like as soon as the pressure came on and the batters started to find some boundaries, they didn't know where to bowl and they lost their way a little bit.
Well, the man who did it, please take a bow. We salute to you because you did this for Punjab last year. You've come here for Delhi and you've done it again. Ashutosh Sharma, you are the coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir Coolers. Powerful air throw, ultimate comfort, 66 of 31. He made it look very easy when there were wickets falling at the other end. Michael, you were talking about his clean hitting, wide stance, but just incredible to see how he kept his cool and he went for it, and then that's 6 to get them past that winning line.
Yeah, and I always think anyone that takes the helmet off and faces the last ball without the lid on, with a little bit of gel in his hair, nice short size band the side, brilliant batting. It really was. I mean, to strike it under the pressure, you kind of, when you just watch it on the television, you kind of forget how much pressure these players are under. Big crowd, the first game of the IPL, desperate to get your franchise off to that first victory. 7 overs in, no chance. 14 overs in, no chance. 3 overs to go, no chance. And all of a sudden he goes, I'll win the game for my franchise on my own. It was, and he's losing wickets at the other end. There was a bit of chaos. Stumping Rishabh, Pant in that last over, it would have made the difference, obviously won them the game. But yeah, pure striking, brilliant to watch.
You know, Simon, I remember this game he played last time against MI. He got 61 of 28, but they lost. Yeah. Today, of course, tables have turned. He's got this 66 of 31 and on the winning side. The winning side makes all the difference and you can see it on his face.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking back through the innings. Now, I think he was 19 off 19. So that means, if I'm getting my maths right, he got 47 off his last 12 balls.
Ooh.
He was 19 off 19. And I think I said to Michael in the green room, I said he's going quite conservatively, quite slow. But 47 off his last 12 deliveries to get his side home. And that little partnership for the 7th wicket. And we heard KP talking about both these players, saying they've both got big power. I mean, Ashutosh has sort of got them across the line, but there was that key moment, that key partnership as well, I think, that got them to a point. But he was just 55 runs, that partnership. But he was brilliant in the end. And they're not just little boundaries. I mean, he is hitting them a long way over. He's a big guy. He's got real power. And it's just, it's a great moment. But it comes down to small margins. And in the end, Delhi just won those small moments in the game.
3.8 crores, Michael. That's what he was bought for. The value of those 3.8 crores, well, he's done it all that Delhi wanted today, all of 26, bright future ahead, because he just seems like he's someone who soaks in that pressure and likes that pressure and performs beautifully under the pressure.
Yeah, when you've got that much power, you can be 19 off 19. Because he knows that once he starts getting the boundary flow, he can hit 3, 4, 5, 6 boundaries on the trot. He can go over the ropes. He can go on the onside, the offside. The one thing I'll say is that from Lucknow, I didn't see him face a bouncer. I didn't see him play the pull shot. I didn't see him play the cut shot. All his shots, if you look at all his boundaries, are all in the V, through extra cover, over the top, down the ground, over mid-wicket. And you're looking back, and Rishabh will be in that dressing room now, and as a captain, he'll be sitting there going, what could I have done? And Shardul Thakur's bowled 2 overs, 2 for 19.
Yes.
So he's thrown a lot of spin down the back end. Thought it was very brave to bowl the left arm spin. It nearly worked. It nearly was brilliant. If he'd got the stump in, it'd have been a genius move. But as soon as he got on strike, you thought, well, that's it. He's going to whack a 6 down the ground. But that's the only thing I would say from a Lucknow perspective. Did they offer him anything from chest high to head high to try and strike? He probably would have struck it. It was his day. But I'd like to have seen them just offer just something a little bit different.
Well, single-handedly, if I can say, has taken Delhi across that finish line. 88 for 5. One wouldn't have imagined them going past that finish line. But then there was Ashutosh Sharma, and they knew that they could kind of go to him and wait for him to take them past that finish line.
Yeah, and look, again, he was obviously targeted by them after doing what he did with Punjab last year, targeted in the auction and said, we need a power hitter. Lower in the order, we need someone that can clear the boundaries. We've got a little bit of talent in our top order as far as overseas players are concerned, but we need some local talent. And they targeted him at the auction, and it's sort of paid dividends game one, because it's a game that at the halfway stage, I think they would have felt that it's a chaseable score. At the halfway stage of their innings, they would have thought, gosh, we're blowing it here. We're 5 down. We've got, we need 12 and a half and over. I think when we did the combox, they needed over 12 and over. And when you need 12 and over from that far out, it's very, very difficult. But it was simply superb. Great striking, big as I say, big lad. Got a reputation, but reputations don't count for much in the middle unless you get the job done, and he's done it.
But Simon, like Michael was saying, not too many short balls bowled to him. As a bowler, where would you have bowled to him considering they're really small boundaries? Yeah,
look, small boundaries. I think you've got to try. You've got to try something. There's an option to go upstairs with Shardul. There's an option to close down one side of the ground, although both sides are relatively the same at 62 metres. Yorkers, see a lot of Yorkers attempted. There are things that LSG will look at and say we didn't quite get it right with the ball after posting that 209 on the board. But it's something we've talked about already tonight is the lack of high quality, I think, in that bowling unit. And they succumb to the pressure and the power of Ashutosh.
Well, it was the power, but he kept cool because Ashutosh Sharma has been our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir coolers, powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. He's going to be a very, very happy man, and so is Delhi going to be very happy. We'll have a look at Delhi's batting card, because besides Ashutosh Sharma, the first 5 wickets that fell very cheaply, fell very quickly, starting with Jake Fraser-McGurk. I went for my power play score, hoping he'd get some runs, Michael. That wasn't meant to be. He got out early. Faf was doing well. But after that, 0, 4, 22 until Tristan Stubbs came and got that 34. Yeah,
and Tristan Stubbs got a beauty. Sid Arthur just replaced the ball, got hit for 6, had to get a new ball out there and produce the ball of the match. It was a tremendous delivery. And I thought then that was it, because Stubbs was looking so dangerous, and that was pretty much game done and dusted. And then there was that terrific partnership. There was so much skill and the boundaries were flowing. It seemed one of those kind of pitches that once you got one boundary in a second, it was almost if you felt you could hit a boundary every single ball. We saw that in the first innings. We saw it down the back end of the second innings. A brilliant T20 advert. You know, that's what T20 is all about. It was a good pitch. Probably for a bowler, the boundary's a little bit too small. It's a bit unfair on the bowlers, but what a game of cricket that we've just witnessed.
Don't underestimate that 39 from Vipraj.
Yes.
He got 39 in that partnership with 55.
39 off 15, was it?
39 of 15 in that partnership with 55. So that innings there sort of set Ashutosh alight a little bit because, as I said, through that stage, he was 19 off 19. So Vipraj's innings is kind of given them that start to the last 6-7 overs to allow Ashutosh to finish it off. And again, we heard from KP on commentary there. He was talking about the power of Vipraj.
Yes.
He said not only does he offer some quality wrist spin for us, he said he hits the ball a long, long way. We got a little glimpse of that tonight. So they're a side now that other sides will look at and say, geez, these guys bat deep. You know, they've got power all the way down to number 8 in their order. So we cannot let the foot off the gas at all. It was a crucial little innings. You know, even Axar's striking at 200, 22 off 11, Stubbs striking at 170, 180, and then the last two striking at well over 200. So, you know, crucial little innings at that stage of the game just to get the ball rolling to allow Ashutosh to do what he
I think it's a huge win for Delhi. I do, because, you know, you look at the last 3 years, they've not been used to winning. And when you get in a situation where you should be chasing that score down, then you don't look like you're going to chase it down, to get over the line and be in that dressing room now. That group, all right, there's a few different players and a different personnel. Kevin Peterson is a different mentor, but, you know, the franchise is still the same franchise.
Yes.
And they've not been used to winning. So to be in that dressing room tonight, having a 1-from-1, and to get over a line in a tight game, and you feel that they're probably not going to be the type of team that's going to blow many teams away. I think they're just at that stage that they can surprise teams and they can get over the line like we saw tonight, but I don't think they'll blow too many teams away. So when you get in a tight game, if you can get used to winning tight matches, that just grows and grows and grows in your team. So it's a really big night for Delhi.
You know, Michael, we were talking about this just in that last over. You said that the changing point in the game could also be the 28-run over.
Without any question, yeah. Tristan Stubbs in that first innings, you know, the captain only bowled 3 overs. He was using the part-time off-spin, it went for 28, and we were sat in there thinking that could be the difference of the game. And that's how tight a margin T20 cricket can become, that if you get one tactical manoeuvre wrong as a captain and someone goes for 28, which happened tonight, if Axar Patel's, you know, doing his captaincy right, you sit down with the coaches and the senior pros and and you ask, you say, anything I could have done differently? And if there's not a senior pro saying, Axar, you only bowled 3 overs, and you don't bowl that filthy off-spinner again, they're not doing their job correctly. So they've won on the back of making a mistake in the first innings, but it's all about winning. Get over the line.
Yes.
He'll be feeling $1 million. His first day in the job as a skipper, and they've got the victory.
This is interesting for me, though. I mean, Shardul Thakur, we talked about it. 2 overs, 2 for 19, both in his first over of the night, sort of set the target, set the tone. I mean, Siddharth was really good. Ravi Bishnoi, expensive tonight, not his night. Digvesh, I thought, bowled nicely, Digvesh Rati, but to not use Shardul again for an over at some stage. I think the game had gone after that last ball of the 19th. So for him to bowl the 20th, the result probably could have been exactly the same, but you're going up against your number 11 with some pace, and it might have been a little bit different on that occasion. Having said that, Rishabh Pant will be sitting in that dressing room saying, I had a chance to stump the number 11 and win the game for us. Yes, it clipped the pad, but he still should have caught that and stumped him.
It was quite a dramatic last over that, but Michael, just a little bit on Pant's captaincy, because he started off really, really well.
Yeah.
But then just these questions arise, like Simon's saying, why wasn't Shardul brought in earlier? Why wasn't Shahbaz Ahmed brought in earlier? So I was just a little confused, considering that you've put all the pressure on your opponent and then you don't go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I've just spoken about Axar Patel. He'd be in that dressing room having won, with people you would hope saying, look, let's just sit down and discuss what happened in the whole of the evening. And you should have bowled an extra over, and that over that you bowled from Tristan Stubbs probably didn't need to happen. Now, Rishabh Pant, if he's not got someone sitting with him, and it probably won't be now, it'll probably be tomorrow morning, and saying, wait a minute, your senior pro, Shardul Thakur, bowled 2 overs. You've got a kid, Prince Yadav, bowled 4 overs, 0 for 47.
Yes.
So somewhere the equation's not gone right. Somewhere, and it might have been that Shardul could have bowled around the 11th or 12th over when things were going well for his team. You know, so the fact that the senior pro's not bowled his 4 and he's got 2 for 19, there's been a miscalculation there. Down the back end, the last over, look, the gamble nearly paid off. You know, if it had been smart and shot, if it had been MS Dhoni, those bails have been off like a flash. So he created that opportunity with that gamble in the last over. So I don't blame him for that last over. Just from around the 10th to the 19th, Thakur had to have bowled at least one more over.
Because he is a wicket-taking bowler, so I almost felt like, you know, he was saving him up for the later overs, but then he just never came on. So I understand that last over, and it could have gone either way, but why did you let it go up until that point?
Yeah, absolutely. And when that partnership was sort of going on, you thought, you know, maybe it was an option to get him in, as Vaughan said, if it wasn't the 11th, 12th, when they're going really well, to try and sort of stamp the authority, at least when that partnership started to develop, bring him back on then. 15th, 16th over, try and, you know, make something happen. As we've said, get a couple up around the helmet. Just try a bouncer or two, which he's more than capable of doing. I know he's not express pace, but he's got a decent bouncer, Shardul, and just give them an option of something along those lines. It didn't happen. As we've said, I think both captains will be sitting there, one happier, but still with some issues in and around what he'd done on the field tonight, and another one that's just sort of thinking, what could I have done better? I mean, we probably should have had 2 points there.
As of the two captains, Axar's got the win, and I think he'll be thinking about the whole all-round performance. I think, yeah, I've got a bit to work with here. Rishabh will be looking at that bowling attack, thinking, we're going to have to get plenty beyond par. The batting's outstanding. They're going to get plenty of runs, but crikey, they just don't have enough. They don't have enough in the bowling department, really. On the better wickets against the better teams, he's going to have to work some magic from behind the stumps, and probably it's going to have to be with his bat to get loads of runs to make sure that they've got plenty to play with, because it's just not a bowling attack really that he's got much to work with.
But now that he has this bowling attack, where do they go? What does Zach sit with him and do? Because this is what it is, and this is what they have to play the season with now. So they go back to the drawing board and figure, what do we do from here on?
You just got to work it out. Is it a little bit same? I mean, Prince Yadav looked okay, but do they need something just a little bit different, a little more pace? Do they get Hungageka involved at some stage? You know, there are options there, but at the end of the day, you have to work with what you've got on the field, and he might have just got a couple of little areas wrong tonight, and as Vaughan said, he'll be thinking about that. And
your home game,
they'll be talking about.
You know, we mentioned Chennai last night. Your home games are the important games, you know, and they've got to work out what pitch is best for them.
Yes.
And it might be that they play on the flattest wicket possible, so they can get loads and loads of runs. So almost bat the opposition out of the game with monster scores. If they get on grubby wickets and 150 is a par score, I'm not sure the bowling attack's going to be good enough to bowl the opposition out or manage that situation. I think they're better off playing on flat roads and getting monster scores with that batting lineup.
Well, we'll have a look at that Lucknow squad. I just want to have a look at that squad and understand from you, Simon and Michael, in that bowling department, what do you think can be changed around now with what they have, the resources that they have?
Well, Michael's just made a good point. I wonder whether... I'm almost tempted to go completely opposite and say just play on grubby wickets and use your three spinners that you had tonight.
Yes.
You know, they're all decent. So use those three spinners. Shuttle Thakur with the off pace into the wicket. You know, he becomes a real player in that sort of situation. If Avesh or Akashdeep can get fit, then they become real options with pace off as well. So I don't know. You might almost just go completely the other way. And it brings Aiden Markram into the game with the ball as well. If you play on a grubby surface, that spins a bit. And we've seen a little bit of that at Lucknow.
Yes.
Over time, we've seen some of the different soils at Lucknow actually be very difficult. I think we're going back 2 IPLs where there was 120 scored, 125 scored, and they couldn't chase them down. So you might be tempted to sort of go not just grubby, real grubby, and make it a 125, 130 type of fight, and get your Bishnois and these guys into the contest a little bit
To be fair, that batting lineup's never going to be a 125 batting lineup.
No,
because someone will always get
even on an ordinary surface.
Well, the bowler has spoken. He knows what pitch the bowler wants. He wants it to be rough and green and grubby. Even the batters, of course, said he wants it to be flat and like this table, like a nice flat road. But you know, having said how much we've complained about the Lucknow bowlers, I just want to touch upon it just one last time, is that they had got them for 88 for 5.
Yeah.
So they did something right. We spoke about it in the com box where they were hungry players who we don't know too much about. They went and grabbed their opportunities. They didn't go past that finish line, but for the inexperience in this side, they did pretty all right today.
Yeah, they were okay. They were okay, but you've got to win. You know, that's the key. You've got to be getting your side over the line when you're in such a dominant position, and that is the problem for Lucknow. You know, we're going to keep going back to it. They're never going to be over the line with that bowling attack.
Yes.
You know, the opposition will always feel, even if you need 80 off 4 overs, 5 overs, you're going to go, we can get this team. You know, we can really strike it. Only takes one of our players to hit 4 or 5 sixes in an over, which is possible in any T20 league around the world. But against that bowling attack, I think teams will always fancy that they're not out of the equation.
Well, Delhi have gone past that finish line and they picked up those 2 points today. We'll have a look at what has happened on that points table now. Hyderabad, of course, that net run rate soaring up high because of the massive runs that they got on. But Simon, Bangalore, Chennai and Delhi, of course, no one else is off the mark, but just that run rate we see for Hyderabad and Bengaluru.
Yeah, big winning margins. I think that's the key. And as soon as you get a couple of losses of that stature early in the tournament, you know, we know that 3rd and 4th place in particular, so often in the last 6-7 years has come down to net run rate. It's so often. So we talked about Rajasthan last night, and they did a good job to try and chase down that 267 last night, 267, 287 last night. But you know, even though it looked like they got close, the run rate still suffered massively. So you know that at some stage in the tournament, towards the back end, run rate is going to come into play somewhere along the line, and these massive losses, they hurt you. So from a Lucknow point of view, it's a loss, but it's not a loss that hurts their net run rate.
Yes.
And that, again, coming down the back end could be quite crucial.
But Michael, for Delhi and Axar, they will be happy with those 2 points, of course. What do you make of Akshar's captaincy today?
Well, I thought Kevin Peterson in the dugout was magnificent. He looked nervous at the back end. Oh, he got the job done. I don't like the fact he bowled 3 overs.
Yes.
So he has to make sure that he's utilising his own bowling a little bit better than he did tonight. But it's all about winning. You know, you get confidence as a captain from winning games. You lose confidence and you start to doubt yourself, and you lose a bit of trust in yourself as a captain when you lose games of cricket, because you go back to your hotel room and all the other players, they'll be able to just switch off. But as a captain, you go through every decision, every move, particularly when you've lost. When you've won, you don't really go through the game too much. You just know you've won a game of cricket, so you feel $1 million. You feel you've done something right. You feel it might be a team chat. It might be just a chat with one of the players. It might be a little fielding move that you put in place. You feel great about yourself as a captain. So, Axar will be delighted. Back at the hotel, he probably won't be back there yet, but when he gets back, I don't know what he'll do, but he'll be able to wake up in the morning knowing that he's getting on a plane to go to wherever they're going to, that his team have got 1-on-1. That's what it's all about.
And we'll have a look. I mean, hopefully we can have a look at the comparisons in the last 5 overs. You think about Delhi, when they bowled, what they were able to do and restrict and really close that innings in when it should have been. I mean, look at those numbers. 7.8 when they bowled, 14 when they batted.
Yes.
So that is the winning of the game. Yes, the stubs over, all of that stuff, you know, could have cost them. But the way they pulled it back when it looked like Lucknow should have got 240, 250, and they pulled it back beautifully. I mean, the massive difference there in 39 for 4 to 63 for 3 in those last few overs.
And I tell you, too much is made in T20 cricket. Just get those numbers back on the screen once again. People always say in T20 cricket, the team that wins the power play wins the game. Lucknow was 64 for 1. Delhi were 58 for 4. I'm a big believer in
how you finish.
You need a good power play, but it's how you finish. Down the back end when you're in the field, and obviously down the back end when you've got the bat in hand.
And 39 for 4. Remember that 12 came off the last 2 balls.
Yeah.
12 runs of those 39 came off the last 2 balls. So that's how brilliant they were up until those last 2 deliveries. And it still looks great.
Well, it looks great, and just like Michael's saying, what matters is how you finish, and Delhi really finished well thanks to what Ashutosh did. We'll move on to what's happening tomorrow, because it's going to be another exciting game. Gujarat take on Punjab in Ahmedabad tomorrow. Again, a new captain for Punjab, Shreyas Iyer, will be captaining Punjab, and talking about the captain, they really wanted Shreyas Iyer and Ricky Ponting to get back together, and that's what's happened for Punjab. I know both of you rate Punjab very high up there, and I think they're both in your top 4, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll talk about Punjab first, have a look at their squad, and see what we can expect from them tomorrow. Simon, who are your 4 aeroplanes that are coming?
It's power-packed, isn't it?
It's Australian.
It's Australian. Look, if I had to pick 4, I think Maxwell, Stoinis, Janssen would be absolute, and then probably Lockie Ferguson, 100% fit Lockie Ferguson. If they wanted to go a different route and just play the all-rounders, use Janssen as their sort of main bowler, Azmatullah Omarzai, who I think is a steal. I think he's a high-quality cricketer with bat and ball, can swing the new ball. He would be the other option, but between those 5...
Don't you think Inglis will open the batting for them?
I mean, I think they've got... He might do. I think they've got enough batting.
So it's going to be Simran Inglis opening?
He might have.
I think they'll go with Inglis at the top.
With Simran?
Yeah, I think Ricky will go with Josh Inglis at the top of the order. I don't think Lockie Ferguson will play.
You don't?
No, I don't think they'll play Lockie Ferguson. Xavier Bartlett,
Arshdeep, absolutely. Chahal, absolutely. Harpreet Brar, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Yash Thakur.
So no overseas bowlers is what you are saying.
Oh, that's kind of you use
Janssen might play.
Yeah.
Janssen,
Stoinis and Maxwell. I think
they all
those
bowl.
play, yeah.
And you don't get Omarzai in the playing 11.
Well, he's your option for Stoinis maybe, or Janssen.
I tell you what, as a squad of players, there's more options in that squad.
Yeah,
we could sit here for a long time and discuss the 11.
You could debate.
And I think we could all argue and we could all be wrong.
Yes.
Because there's so many different variations that Ricky Ponting has got. That's why we're all fancying this Punjab side to be in the top 4, because that squad of players, if it's a flat wicket where you fancy more seam, they've got the options. If it's a grubby Deckett, look now. They've got plenty of spin options.
Yeah.
They've got it all covered. It's just whether they can bring everyone together. Obviously, there's a lot of new players coming together. No, there's a lot of Australians there, and Ricky's the coach, but it still sometimes takes a little bit of time of knowing combinations and roles, and that's probably the most difficult aspect of that side, is getting used to playing together, because on paper, they look like a powerhouse.
But clearly a happy problem for Shreyas Iyer, then so much to choose from for him.
Great problem, a great problem to have. And it'll be a very tough first selection meeting, I think, as to what combination they go with, what 12 they come up with, when you think about the impact sub with the batter or the bowler that they leave out for either innings. It'll be a tough meeting, I think, first up, and they're great problems to have. As Michael said, they've got cover. And what I love about it, they've got cover for all those bases that they need, particularly in the overseas department. And if a couple of those young local batters, and I always like to look at teams that have got 3 local Indian batters in their top 5.
Oh yeah,
and that's something that Punjab will have in Shreyas Iyer, Sai Sudarshan, and Prabh Simran. So if you've got 3 local batters in your top 5, I think you're on the right track. And then they've got that raft of guys who can bat and bowl as overseas with Janssen, Maxwell, Stoinis. Then they can do whatever they like if they have Inglis at the top, or if they bring Omarzai, if they bring Ferguson. They can do what they want with that.
They've got the type of squad with so many options. I think Rishabh, Pant and Lucknow will be ringing them up saying, can we borrow some of your bowlers? We haven't got any. You've got them all.
But just a word on Shreyas Iyer, the captain, because all eyes are on him. He's, won it for KKR and now comes to Punjab.
He's a brilliant player. He's doing great, isn't he, in Indian colours. You can understand that Ricky Ponting wanted him next to him. They've got a great combination. They didn't fire in Delhi. Let's be honest, they didn't fire when they were there, but he knows how to win it with KKR. Shreyas, he's probably playing as well as I've ever seen him. That combination's one to look out for. If they can get going and they can get a few early wins, they might take some stopping this year.
A player to watch out for from Punjab then?
Punjab, Sai Sudarshan. I really like what he has.
He's in,
sorry.
Otherwise, Gujarat, yes.
Punjab, I'm going with Shashank. Yeah, I'm going with Shashank Singh. Strike rate of in excess of 160. We saw his mate, one of his good mates, do the job tonight. He and Ashutosh were the keys for Punjab in that middle order last year. So I really like what he has to offer late in the piece. If they're anywhere near sort of, setting a target or chasing a target down. He's there with 4 or 5 overs to go. Keep an eye on him.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, the Shawshank.
And for you,
I'm
Mike?
going Maxi, Glenn Maxwell. I'm intrigued by Glenn Maxwell. He fascinates me. He's got the gift of 1,000 cricketers all in one. In the IPL, I've never seen him dominate for a period of time. He's had good games, but
Unless, of course, Punjab gets a yellow jersey, then maybe things change.
Maybe, but they are pretty much yellow anyway with all the Australians. So if there was ever a franchise and an IPL franchise which is very close to the yellow jersey because they're all Australian, this is the franchise. So Glenn Maxwell is the one I'm looking forward to watching.
Well, that's the reason enough to understand why you've chosen Glenn Maxwell. We'll have a look at Gujarat's squad now and see what we can expect from them tomorrow. Simon, your 4 overseas players for Gujarat.
Well, Butler, easy. Rashid Khan, easy. Rabada, easy. And then what do? Do you go with Shafane Rutherford or Glenn Phillips?
The Flying Phillips.
I think in the form he's shown in the last month with bat, ball and in the field, I would probably just nod for Phillips at the moment, and that's sort of taking my Kiwi hat off. I think in the middle order, power offers you enough with the ball if you need that, and just one of the best fielders in the world at the minute. So they would be my 4.
You agree with
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I think Phillips potentially saves you 10 every game. So 10 runs before he bats, before he's bowled, he has to play.
Yes.
I mean, he's got Inspector Gadget arms, doesn't he, when he catches those balls? I've never seen a man fly so far and it sticks in the middle of his paw. They on paper don't look bad either. If you put that squad back up, I think they've got lots of combinations.
Yes.
I'm intrigued to see how Josh Buttler goes. He's just lost, obviously, the England captaincy. He's not been in great form, but you kind of look at that combination of Shubman Gill and Josh Buttler at the top of the order. You go Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma for the Sunrisers. Obviously, tonight's partnership of Markram and Marsh was a powerful one, but if those two can get going, they're going to be as good as any to watch. So I'm intrigued to see how Josh Buttler goes, but any team that's got the likes of Rashid Khan in, Kagiso Rabado is a pretty similar to Mitchell Starc. He's a wicket taker.
Yes.
And you look around that bowling attack with Rashid and Kagiso, they've got wicket takers. And if they can get that combination, they don't look like they've got so much depth in the middle to me with the bat, but at the top of the order, if those two can start to find form, they're 100 getters. And Josh Butler's got a little bit of a point to prove.
Well, he's got a point to prove. Siraj has got a point to prove. But Shubman Gill is someone I want to chat about because second season for him, he seems like a very cool and composed captain. Of course, the batter, we've seen how super talented he is, but more expectations from him this season.
Yeah, a little more expectations, but he's had good people around him. And again, now that Kane Williamson's gone, he's got Josh Buttler around him. And I think that's a key signing for Gujarat because having experience and international experience captain around him, I think, did him a lot of good in the last couple of years. And although Kane didn't play a lot, he had a huge amount to do with Shubman. I think Josh will be very much the same. So that's why I think that's a great signing, not only from a cricketing point of view, because he's a great player, but for a sort of someone for Shubman to lean on. Seriously talented. We know what Shubman can do. He's class. I go back to just innings that he's played in this tournament in the past where he just looks a cut above. There's a lot of talent in and around, but he's obviously got the Indian jersey at the moment and he'll want to hold on to it. He'll want to make sure that he has another big season in charge of this side.
Well, of course, he's become vice captain of India. So that captaincy tag, we know he's going to become the future captain of India. What have you made of his captaincy?
Yeah, OK. I'm still waiting for that spark. I think he brings his spark with the bat in hand. I have him as the leading run scorer in this year's IPL. I think he's got 101 Vishen Kishans to chase down yet, but he's a pure player.
For us because I've got Shreyas.
Oh, you've got Shreyas.
I picked Shreyas as the leading run scorer, and you picked. Yeah,
I've got Shubman.
So we're going head to head tomorrow.
He's a wonderful player. He's just got that natural gift. Can he get his team playing? Can he get that combination at the top working really well for obviously with Josh Buttler for his team? He's the kind of player that when I watch him in Test match cricket, I always kind of go, how come he not? He averages 36 in Test match cricket. He should be averaging 50. He's such a good player. In white ball cricket, I don't have any concerns. I think he controls T20 cricket, 50 over cricket, I think he knows exactly what he's trying to achieve in those two formats. He's not quite mastered Test match cricket, but I'm pretty sure he will. It won't be long before he starts to master the red ball game. But over the course of the next 8 weeks, I guess he's just got to try and lead with the bat in hand and be as cool as he can when the pressure hits, which it will, because the ball travels to all parts, and he's got a decent bowling attack to work with. You know, he's got some good experience within that bowling attack, which you show me a captain that's ever captained any cricket team that isn't a good captain without having good bowlers.
Yeah.
You need the good bowlers. That's the only way you become a good captain, and that's what he's got.
Is he a player to watch out for Gujarat?
No, I'm going Washington Sundar.
Interesting.
Yeah, Washington, I like his all-round quality, and I think his tweakers are going to be coming very handy. I hope they don't just use him as a matchups against left-handers. I think he's better than that, but with the bat in hand in the field, I think he's an all-round quality player, so I'm looking out for him.
For you, Simon?
Well, I mentioned him earlier because I got the wrong team.
Yes,
but I've gone with the double S's on both sides. I went Shashank and I'm going with Saisudash. And, you know, great average. I think he averages 47 in his short IPL career. Strikes at 137. He's such a classy player to watch. And I really like him as a young Indian talent. So, yep, I'll stick with the double S's on both sides.
Well, lots of exciting cricket in store tomorrow as well. But we need to get to the exciting joy factor question of the day, which you forgot to discuss in the green room, Simon. But which cricketer playing in this year's Indian T20 League was the player of the match for taking 4 wickets on his T20I debut in 2022? Any guesses?
I thought it might have been Ravi Bishnoi.
Well, it's a spinner, but it's not Ravi Bishnoi.
Okay. Oh, he's obviously playing today.
Oh, well,
Was
we'll
he playing today?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
there
He
you
was
go.
playing yesterday.
Yesterday.
Close.
Ah,
It's Noor Ahmad.
Look
okay.
at Joy's T-shirt with his jacket on. It looks
Oh, that's
cool,
a
doesn't it?
Tintin T-shirt that he was gifted. But that's Joy. Oh, wow, he's come with a Tintin T-shirt now. Let's have a look at who got the joy factor question correct today and who got it quickest. Sumed has gotten it quickest. Well done.
He's a Man United supporter,
Yep.
isn't he?
Yes.
Fergie time.
Fergie time.
Hey.
United supporter. You know, Man
I
City,
like
you're a
United.
City
Yeah,
supporter.
Sheffield Wednesday's my team, but I do go to Man United a little bit, yeah.
Well done. Hope to see your name come in soon. In all the excitement of what Ashutosh Sharma did, my apologies, Simon. It's time to clap for you once again.
Oh,
Well done. Well, you almost had a bullseye, but
Look at
look at
that.
you there, up there, smiling away. I'm sorry they've cut your fancy shoes
I
down
know.
in
What's
that
going on?
photograph.
What's happening there?
But look at
All
you.
right.
With that one bullseye, the first one to have that bullseye. I've not, warmed up very well.
Yeah. GK must have got one right today as well, because he's still on 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Michael, I'm still warming up. I see that you've gotten off the mark.
I got off the mark
Yeah,
yesterday.
you got off the mark.
I thought I was a bit unlucky today.
Just
In the first innings, they were looking like getting 224, weren't
They should have gone well past
Yeah.
all of our scores, really, in the first innings.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah,
A bit unlucky. Yeah.
I was totally off. So I need to pull my socks up and I'm done with the warm-up because the IPL is really warmed up. We've seen how warm it was today. It was great fun having both of you here. Simon, I think you'll be playing golf or paddle or flying away or
probably
taking
both tomorrow. A day
both.
off tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday.
So I will see you tomorrow, Michael,
back.
with Harsha. And hopefully we get some answers correct tomorrow. Because I don't like losing
I'll be texting Dooley for his
What do you
predictions.
think?
I don't like not getting off the mark, but it's the first game, so tomorrow is going to be that day. But thank you so much to everyone who watched. Voltas FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. We will be back tomorrow, so don't forget to join us. Good night and goodbye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ